Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Kryptonian Satan here, bringing you a review for One Piece Chapter 97. Now, the chapter cover story. Now, we got Kobe, and he's freaking out because the Navy's getting ready to shoot the fuck boy and Axe Morgan. So that was pretty cool to see, man. Kobe's eyes are bugging out and everything, and it really says a lot about his character, man. He's a good kid at heart, you know. So that was kind of nice to see that. But this chapter, this is gonna be one of those ones where I'm gonna kind of deviate a little bit, and I want to focus on Zoro, this famous swordsman, right? Who is able to take on these legendary pirates and their second mates and stand up to guys like Arlong, right? And yet when it comes to approaching women, he is tongue-tied. And it just blows my mind at that because, confidence is one of the sexiest things that a man can have when you're trying to, get a woman to be interested in you, and the fact that she's a swordsman, the ice is already broken there, and she knows so much about swords. She's a little bit on the bookworm side, in that she has to go to her little booklet to figure out the value and the names and stuff. But she's a swordsman. She's passionate about it. Easy to break the ice, and yet Zoro himself, while he's walking through the streets, he's saying, "Damn it, I couldn't think of anything to say." And the two peas of the same pot. He seemed like Kuina, the girl that he had trained with, who unfortunately died, and they have a very strong resemblance. Like, I think it's her, like, because again, what's to say she didn't live? And I know you guys have been telling me over and over, like, Oda doesn't kill characters just for no reason, and he's not going to kill anybody this early in the story. So I think it's her, like, hands down, because it's the same stance, if I'm not mistaken, that Zoro's used a few times. But what I want to get on that, though, man, like, you got to be confident in yourself. Like, know what you're going to, when you approach a woman, know what you're going to say. And even if it's going to be some bullshit, make it sound like you know what you're talking about. Like, point blank, period. Make it sound like you know what you're talking about. And when she gets into the shop, like, I really felt like Zoro at that point, he let his personality kind of shine through. And I know, like, hey, One Piece, it doesn't really deal with romance and all this other stuff. Like, I get all that, But the reason I wanted to kind of point it out was it was humorous to me because of his tongue-tiedness or whatnot. But it was also humorous because I remember being that guy. And when I look at the demographics for this channel, I have a lot of younger viewers watching. And I know how I was when I was at some of the ages that some of you guys were. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I have a few times now where, like, my brain kind of shuts off and I have to restart it. Like last summer, while I had the broken leg, I actually had a classmate who was a huge huge Deadpool fan, huge comic book geek. But it was so, like, for me, it was still too close when I broke up with my ex, or when she broke up with me, excuse me. But the thing on that was, like, I fooled around with her a little bit, but I couldn't really go there with it. It took me a long time to just approach her. We'll make small talk like how Zoro did, but I couldn't get right to that level where I just felt completely comfortable talking to her, and it was a confidence thing. And so when I see Zoro doing that, it was pretty fucking hilarious. And just like the way that this chapter opens up and you see Nami trying on the different dresses, and she's looking really, really seductive in those dresses. And I know you use the word sexy or whatnot, but the reason I say seductive is because of the poses and because of the faces that she's making. If you look, like, Oda does a pretty good job. Again, what I have noticed is he tends to draw women's faces the same. He just makes a few small differences. But what I loved about Nami was the fact that she trolled the shopkeeper, because she tries on all the clothes and he's like, "So you're going to be buying all of them?" And Nami's like, "Fuck no. I feel more comfortable in everyday clothes." And that's something that, like, for me, it made me think of my sister, because, like, my sister, like, when she decides she wants to dress up and everything, I've had a few times I've gone out with her and I've watched dudes just, like, look at her and eyeball and all this other stuff, right? But she's more comfortable, wearing like a tracksuit or something, or And I haven't told her. I've joked a few times, like, man, you know, track suits, like, that's that old people shit. You don't want to do that, you know. Like, my sister's a little older than me, about a few years, so I kind of fuck around with her every now and then on it. But, you know, like, she's just as able to go wear some jeans or something, or like some sweats. That's her thing, and that's how Nami is. You know, she's got that everyday type vibe, and that's really why I kind of you know like Nami for, you know, she's quick witted too, but you know she's got that down to earth vibe. And then in the other part of the chapter we have Luffy, and Luffy is like, so this is where the age of the pirates started. He's standing in front of, you know, old man Roger, Gold Rogers. I'm gonna call him old man Roger though, that's just me. But he's standing in front of old man Roger's scaffold where he got put to executed, you know. And there's this really beautiful shot where it's just Luffy and he's standing in front of it. And for me, that was very symbolic, because if you look, that's a huge distance. I really feel like Oda does that to show the distance between Luffy and actually reaching his goal. And considering, you know, like One Piece is like I think 800 chapters ahead now, like that's absolutely crazy. It just shows you how far he's got to go and how long of a journey this is going to be. But again, the thing that really interested me is Zoro and his interaction with Tashigi. I believe that's how you say her name. But the interaction, the reason why it interested me on another level is, I've told you guys before, Rurouni Kenshin is one of my absolute favorite mangas. And not Togashi, Oda worked on the staff for it. And I read things in this chapter that really feels like something that Kenshin Humor would have said. Humor Kenshin would have said. You know, when Zoro is, you know, talking, or the shopkeeper's telling Zoro, hey, you know, a sword picks its owner and you're a true swordsman. That's that swordsman spirit that was in the Kenshin manga and anime. Like, it's just a bunch of stuff. I really feel like Zoro is Oda's way of paying homage to his time at Kenshin, but also it's inspired by it too. It's like you're paying homage, but you're inspired by it at the same time, and he's borrowing different things. And even now I'm thinking about even Zoro and Kuina's relationship, like the friendly stuff, and how much of an impact he had on her, she had on him. It reminds me of Kenshin with his first wife, how much of an impact she had on him in taking the path that he did. I mean, there's a lot. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm really think I'm gonna fuck with Zoro, because Kenshin is hands down in my top 5 for best shonen characters ever. But let me quick, I'm about to geek out, man. If you can't tell, that's literally one of my favorite mangas. But the other thing is you know, Zoro's got this real badass scene where he's throwing the sword up. It's a cursed sword, which is also some Kenshin type shit where you can read the feel of the sword and the mood of it. But the sword's being thrown up and he could get his arm sliced off and it just misses him. And right there, it fits in the theme for the last chapter, which is the last words about destiny. And it really feels like Zoro's been destined to have that sword. I mean, this chapter, while it was kind of all over in that we see different people interacting, at the same time, at the heart of it, it really pushes the story forward. This, like I said, it's good writing when you can have internal conflicts mesh with the external. And another thing, I'm so glad you guys told me to start reading the cover stories. I've been looking at them. I hadn't really been taking notes on them and keeping track. You know, Sanji's like, oh, there's a lot working for people in the big cities, and he's got this expression because he's looking at the different women walking out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Like, you know, I've traveled quite a bit. You know, like my last spot was Dallas. You know, I had went for a writing convention, and I went for some other reasons too. But the other thing, man, and I went to meet with somebody, another editorial assistant. But the thing on it was while I was down there, You know, I was looking, I said, shit, man, I don't look too bad down here. You know, fuck that shit. You know, 'cause that's when I was trying to break out of my mold, you know? And I was just looking around and I was like, there's some very beautiful women down here. And I do that in every city. I look to see what the women look like. I look to see what the locals look like. If I'm in a place like Florida or something, it's hard to tell who's the tourist and who isn't, you know? Well, I've lived in Florida for a little bit, so I know how to tell the tourists and whatever, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a chance somebody might be from out of town, but this is the ill thing about it, though. Like, Sanji's looking, and it's that chick that I think is probably Buggy's first mate now, because Buggy was infatuated with her. So this is going to be really interesting to see what's going on with her, because she's got that mischievous look to her. And I'm willing to bet that this is when Buggy kind of shows up again. So overall, this is pretty good, man. And just one final note, I'm making a note myself, because now that the Navy's there and Zoro's interacted, and that girl Tashigi wants to get all the swords, the famous swords from the evil swordsman, and Luffy just got a bounty. That's what I mean. Oda does a lot of breadcrumbs, and some of them connect right away. Others you have to just file away and watch. Like I said, as a writer, I respect that. But man, my chapter question for you guys, it's going to be a little bit of a personal one, right? You know, 87% of the people who watch my videos are men. So this is going to be for you 87%. The 87 percenters, right? The majority. I want to know, have you ever been in Zoro's position where you saw somebody and you wanted to talk to her and you got tongue-tied for whatever reason? Did you get a second chance like he did? Did it? You know, you can share what you want to share. You know, let's just keep this lighthearted for this instance. And for my 13 percenters, if any of you guys want to say anything, has there ever been an instance when there was a guy that you wanted to talk to and you wanted him to make the move on you and you didn't do it? Let me know. But man, like I said, very fun chapter. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, share. I will greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Kryptonian Saying. Have an awesome day.